Hello everyone, welcome to another video for the One Piece trading card game. In this video, we will be reviewing another leader from the first set, Romance Dawn. This leader is Donquixote Doflamingo. I hope you enjoy. Donquixote is a blue special attribute leader with the 7 Warlords of the Sea and Don Quixote Pirates traits. Because he is a monocolor leader, he starts with 5 life. He has an ability that says Don X2, when attacking, pay 1 resource, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is the 7 Warlords of the Sea type character with a cost of 4 or less, you may play that card rested. Similar to Odin, our leader from the last video, Don Quixote has to be built in a very specific way to take effect of the leader's ability. However, where Odin's effect has a large cost for not that strong of an effect, Don Quixote has an extremely small cost for an extremely big effect. The ability to pretty much draw an extra card every turn is crazy. It's also 1 mana cheat, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it adds up. He becomes a 7k every turn, which means you can control the board super easily just by using his ability. And a lot of the 7 Warlords of the Sea that cost 4 or less are extremely viable, unlike Wano Country, where only half of them are super good. This card will get a lot of use out of its character ability and is one of the main strengths of this deck. Next is the deck list for Don Quixote. This deck has 3 starter deck Law, 3 set Don Quixote, 3 Alvida, 4 starter deck Dracul Mihawk, 4 set Boa Hancock, 4 Marshall D. Teach, 3 starter deck Gecko Moria, 4 set Bartholomew Kuma, 3 starter deck Pacifista, 4 set Crocodile, 3 set Dracul Mihawk, 4 Desert Spada, 4 Love Love Beam, and 4 Overheat. If you want to play a good mono blue tempo deck, this is probably the best deck to play. It has so much protection because so many of the 7 Warlords have blocker. Boa and Kuma are both really good blockers at 4 mana 5k. Don Quixote can help set up your draws and flips for later turns, and Law is just a good one-shot blocker that you don't mind playing. This deck depends on how consistent you can hit your leader's ability, and there are a lot of effects that help with that. We have 4 Desert Spada and 3 of the 3 mana Don Quixote to help fix our draws. What these cards do is they let us look at the top cards of our deck and put them back in any order, which is extremely helpful because we know what we're drawing in our next turns and we know what we're going to hit off of our Don Quixote. Protection is also really important in this deck because Don Quixote does put the characters into play rested, although most of them have really good effects to help either protect our other characters or we don't really care if they end up getting destroyed. Kuma is an example of that. When Kuma is destroyed, you can get a Pacifista from your hand into play, which is why we have 3 Pacifista in this deck. I think it's better than the set Pacifista because a 4 mana 5k blocker turning into a 4 mana 5k blocker isn't that strong when we have so many blockers already. I'd rather have the threat of the 6k. And our late game isn't that bad either. We have 4 of the set Crocodile because he is a major threat. He is a 7 mana 7k with critical. This card shouldn't be taken lightly. Because if this really gets one hit off on your opponent, they're probably not winning the game because you're going to be so ahead on card advantage. And similarly to the Dracul Mihawk, this is probably the best blue card in the game. 9 mana 9k, put a 7 cost back into their owner's hand. He's super hard to deal with because there's like no removal that can deal with him. He's a threat that's coming in every turn, and this deck has the protection to back him up, and it has the damage and tempo to just make sure your opponent has no cards in their hand ever. The starter deck Mihawk and the set Boa also give you a ton of card advantage, with Martial D Teach not only being really good versus aggro, but also being able to reset our 3 mana Doflamingo, allowing us to replay it, look at the top cards again, and it's just super strong. Our other cards, our other events, Level of Beam is the best event in the game. Being able to replace itself is super duper strong. And Overheat is a similar effect to Teach, where it bounces a 3 or less. This is mainly here for the aggro matchup. This is actually a card that you would end up boarding out if you do play against a control matchup, but I think Overheat's good enough to stay in the main board, especially because it is a 2 mana 4K. The last card is Elvira. She's just good. You play her into aggro matchups. That and Overheat probably come out if you're not playing against aggro, but right now it's a lot of low to the ground characters, so both are really strong to play in the main board, and I would probably keep both in the main board, even if we went to a more high cost card focused meta. I want to thank you all for watching this video. I know the last video was pretty short, but there's not much to say about Odin. I mean, he's a pretty straightforward deck. There's more to say about this deck. I don't really have much else to say. Although, I do want to ask if you do want to see more content, that I hope you would subscribe. I would really appreciate it. It's just something to let me know that people do enjoy these videos, and it helps them. And I'm definitely going to make more, so I'm asking you, please subscribe if you want to. It's free. Uh, it doesn't take much time. But with that said, I hope you all have a good day, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.